up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Hope you guys had a absolutely fantastic, incredible weekend. We'll let you guys pile on into the room for a little bit. Let's get some trading view up. We got Bill in the house. Good morning, Bob. Brian's with us. We got Cedric, Cindy, David H is with us. Fayaz is here. Jenny, Greg. We got Jay, Joe, Kevin. Shanique was with us. We got Tony. All my peeps in YouTube land. Good morning. I don't know what you guys want to do this morning. I don't know if you guys want to talk about the market or because anything I say now is doesn't mean a thing. Tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. That's right. We got a big week ahead of us. Let's flip this to a weekly chart real quick. Weekly chart, we have a slight little reversal pattern on the weekly. So this would be an inverse hammer. We are gapping up right now in the market, and that's from the close as of Friday, close of the previous week, into a little bit of resistance, which I think is more so on a daily than it is weekly. But technically, it is a 3-bar reversal candle pattern on at least a weekly basis, which wouldn't bode well for the markets. But does it matter? Does it matter? Do you think we chop today before CPI? I have no idea. But if I was to take a stab at that one, I would say probably. Yeah, I would say probably we just have a little bit more of the choppy day. I think we can still make some trades day trading, but any reason besides day trading, there was even some upgrades, some downgrades, and some stocks that came out today. Why? Why would you even, if you're an analyst, why would you even put an upgrade or downgrade today when tomorrow could be a completely different story? Does not make a lot of sense. But if you're like, hey, this is a really cool swing trade, why would you open it today? If you're like, I want to get into something long, why do it? Just wait less than 24 hours at this point because they don't have a clue what they're doing. For the most part, but I think that's going to be a lot of retail traders, but they're not going to move the markets. I think tomorrow, 8:30. I don't think there's any hidden layers where tomorrow good news is bad news is good news. I think it just comes down to, did we hit CPI or did we not? Are we coming in hot with CPI or are we coming in light with CPI? That would be my only two. And I think if it comes in hot, meaning that the number is higher, this market is going to tank. If the number comes in light, meaning that it's under the estimated amount, this market will rally like crazy. So I think it's a good day tomorrow, pre-market, to trade. We'll see if there's any more meat on the bones for when they actually open the market, but I could bet you there'll probably be some good follow-through tomorrow. Today, I don't know what we're going to get, but we did see the last few times CPI came out, the day before, it almost didn't exist. It was very choppy. So if we get 2 day trades today, we'll try to take some kind of profits early, maybe try to get a little quicker with stop moves and just play that game. Because there'll probably still be some decent setups and we could definitely make some money. It could land on a little choppy side. That being said, so we had, just look at this daily pattern real quick. A little bit of a down move, good pop into, that could be the retest, and then this could be a fade. Of course, we're gapping up. It's an inside candle, so even just the inside candle alone is going to make it a little bit more on the tricky side. QQQ. The algos are going to probably have some fun tomorrow. All those algos are going to just crush it tomorrow. Let me get the YouTube chat up. Oh, we got lives in YouTube land today. Okay. We got Insights Jose with us. All right. Good morning to you guys. All right. So here's the cues. Let's take a look real quick at the weekly since it is Monday. very similar. So that's a 3-bar reversal. 3-bar reversal, but it is hanging out relatively within this one high wave. So it's at the upper end of this big, massive, almost bullish engulfing. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe this is the last time we had CPI. So if we're looking at that on the Qs, yeah, we had a good range after CPI. We're still leaning based off the last news of that CPI report, and we haven't done too much since. So we have a little bit of range. We got up to 296, something like that. 290, 296. And a low of the range actually did come in last week. That's 278. So that's a wide range, but we're sitting in a range and we're still playing off that last CPI. So again, I would expect a candle something like this. Bullish or bearish, I don't know. I would think it would be, I think the numbers come in light, but the only caveat to that, which makes me a little suspect on that entire, because I think food is still just, it hasn't gone up pricing, but I don't think food's really gone down. Everywhere else, I think it's come down a little bit in pricing. The only thing is how they report those numbers would throw that for a wild card. So I don't know if you guys remember, but we had an oil spike probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So just depending on the time, if they recorded the higher prices of oil, these numbers could come in hot tomorrow for CPI. And then I don't think it carries through on January, but because it was a very short-lived spike. But if that's the time that they recorded those numbers, I think that would be one of the biggest contributors for this number to come in hot, and we absolutely tank tomorrow. Tony says if I buy a protective put, CPI will come in light. If I don't buy a protective put, CPI will come in hot. If you buy both a call and a put, they'll just delay the report altogether for you. They'll be the first time in history that reschedule a CPI. They're like, let's wait a month. You're like, nah, I got 2 weeks on expiration. I mean, you can go with both. The problem with buying calls and puts today, and again, if it's for insurance purpose, you could still buy them today. Still give yourself a little, even if it's like 2-3 weeks on those contracts, give yourself a little bit more time, because the ones that expire this week, any of the ones that expire this week are going to be heavily inflated on premium, just because don't forget, this is the CPI that we have coming out. This is Tuesday, tomorrow, an hour before the market. This is CPI. Whether the oil prices come in and they recorded them when they were high, and we end up getting a high inflation, we could also see Jerome Powell the following day come out, JP, not to be confused with JPP for any Giants fans. I think he plays for 49ers now. But I think he retired, and then I forget where JPP's at now. But anyway, Jerome Powell comes out, and he does have the ability to say, okay, let's let the market run how it wants to, or give some additional insight, maybe kind of go through, just oil, we see good progress, we're not worried, things like that. So we'll see how that wants to play out. Matt says I paid less than $3 a gallon in Arizona. Yeah, but it was a short spike. That's what I'm saying. It didn't last long, so it just depends on when they recorded those numbers. Qs are gapping a little bit higher, still below the 10 EMA. Very, very slight gap. So again, nothing looking too outrageous. Let's check the 6 that we look at. We got the Tesla. Let me remove some of those lines. Tesla looks like we're actually gapping down. So Tesla's already doing something a little bit different than the market. And obviously Tesla's been a little bit weak now for a little more extended time than the actual CPI. I still think this one's overvalued completely. 1, 2, 3. So we got 3 in a row. This is you still in that range. Question is, are we going to break that today? That looks like Shopzilla. Worst case scenario, technically, this is a retest gap on a weekly. So this thing should fade a little bit higher before going short. I could look at this thing. Oh no, so Tesla. Yeah, Tesla pre-market is gapping down a little bit. Still in Friday's range. So that's going to disqualify that out of the gate with the 10 EMA. On the weekly basis, you do probably want to see this thing retest at least that weekly close or the bottom of that weekly candle, not the wick. So before going short, I would probably wait it out, see if you get a little bit of a bounce back to like this 180 zone, maybe. And then would be a better opportunity to short. But right now, just inside day, just trading sideways. All right. AMD pre-market, about a 7-cent drop, hanging in there on the lower end of Friday's close or Friday's candle. This one we might get a little bit more of a push. Again, see if you really need one red candle, and maybe we could take this one short. We need right now it qualifies. So this one might qualify actually by open. So as we were looking at it, drop below Friday's candle. So this would qualify. This would be a retest gap if it does open below all of Friday's range. Target on this one would be 67.16. So far, this one might have the best potential move. Is this a 10 EMA on a daily as well? Yep. So this would be a 10 EMA. If we were taking 10 EMA on a daily, your entry would have been 69.15. Would have probably got triggered on this day, sat through 1 day of pain, and then, or at close, you would have been down, and then nice little gap and go, and that's at a good location. So AMD actually might get a little bit more momentum to the downside. We got about at least $1. What was that? $1.50. Yeah, it puts us about $1.25, $1.30. It's gonna have to be a tight setup. We might be able to make that one work. I can see continuation, a little bit more continuation. AMD does look a little bit weaker, and then we have NVIDIA. So you're seeing a little divergence, which is strange, between NVIDIA and AMD. I don't know if anybody's been noticing that as of recently, but AMD is moving a lot like this, and NVIDIA kind of doing something like that, where a lot of times you can even get a lot of sympathy plays. They move kind of coherently together. The last few days, the last couple weeks, I would say probably they're starting to break apart a little bit, and NVIDIA seems to be more of a clearer winner than AMD at this point. Tony says he notices it. Matt says, why has that been happening? Honestly, I have no idea. I've just been noticing. I'm like, I think it has a lot to do with. I mean, I don't even. I think that's a crypto. I thought NVIDIA also had some of the chips that they were making were also for crypto as well. AMD definitely has a bigger part in the crypto mining chips. And then since the Ethereum 2.0 or 17.0, whatever they want to call it, that was supposed to be the savior of crypto or savior of Ethereum came out, all of crypto kept going down anyway, so it didn't really matter. But then that merger essentially took away mining for Ethereum. So maybe that has now a little bit more of a flood of AMD products on the market where people aren't buying them as well. So that could be. But yeah, otherwise I don't really know. I don't really know, except for maybe more technical basis where you had this. I mean, this looks, and we'll see. This looks like NVIDIA now. So we'll flip back to the NVIDIA, but this is a little chop zone, good bullish candle, nice little high wave, and then we sold off. Nvidia, we're kind of in that chop zone. Here's our breakout candle. So maybe just AMD is ahead of its time. This looks very, very close to AMD a few days ago. So take it for what you want, but that looks very, very close to this picture right here. And maybe just AMD is a little bit ahead. That would be the only thing I got that would, otherwise, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe there could have also been more of a short squeeze on NVIDIA than there was AMD as well. Because don't forget, we also had Nancy Pelosi buying up NVIDIA. We also had all that stuff too, where people were like, okay, well, why don't we just short that when she sells and all that stuff, and then and not Nancy, Paul Pelosi. Don't want to get that confused. Whew. I don't want the dogs to be sick on me. All right. Airbnb. Nope, that's not one we look at. Let's look at Apple. I've had some people tell me too. I don't know too much about the chip world, but some of you guys know a lot more about it. But the other thing could be too that you guys have been telling me that the NVIDIA chip is, at least the newer one, is a lot better. I think it's a lot more pricier. Where's Michael Holt? Who would know? But maybe it could just be a product as well. All right, we got Apple inside day. Can't really do too much with this. I don't really see this one unless we get some news in the next 13 minutes. I don't see this one jumping. I don't see this one dropping. So we're probably going to be stuck with an inside day. Not only inside day, but you got a pretty clear doji. You got some kind of level of, I would say, support right around where we're at now, 142.57-ish. So if we could get a little bullish momentum, again, I'm not looking for a crazy breakout play, but target would probably be, let's see if we get hit 144.28. And then you do have a little bit more support at the bottom. So maybe we could play something. We'd have to wait till 10:30. So we'd have to wait another hour and 12 minutes. But if it sets up, that's how I would play it if I wanted to take something. Otherwise, probably not the best risk to reward, honestly, on that one. I think your risk reward would probably be to the higher side on that one. But that's going to be Chop City. He's on the other side of him. He got stuck. What's that show? Black Mirror? You should do an episode where you get just stuck in the metaverse and you just can't get out. I think they already made that. They call that the Matrix, I'm pretty sure. Actually, they made that already. Yeah, that's called the Matrix. And your reality is now the metaverse. All right, let's see. We got, slight little gap down on Amazon. Which to me, Amazon, again, none of this matters. None of it. It's all worthless. This whole analysis, completely garbage, completely worthless. Because tomorrow everything can change. Otherwise, on a daily basis, this is the nice little bear flag that's potentially setting up. So maybe we get some nervous Nellies that come in, and if this breaks today, for day trade purpose, I'll be looking to probably take that short. Otherwise, my guess is, again, unless we get any news or something that comes out today, or we get Fed talk that happens or different number that I wasn't expecting, and that's enough to catapult this thing in either direction. This to me looks like a pretty beautiful looking bearish type setup. We open, we run down, and target would be probably that one. But we're also lending ourselves to, it could just be Chop City. 86.71 will be target. So if this one breaks down, yeah, that's not a bad short. We are still making lower highs. We're obviously making lower lows. This is just a little bit of a rest period inside a clear downtrend. So I would be looking bearish on Amazon. But that's today. That's now. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow it could be a whole new future for Amazon. We'll see. Otherwise, right now, nothing. let's cover Delta. And then if you guys have any other stocks you want to throw into the chat to look at, maybe something that looks a little bit more enticing, a little bit better. We are actually gapping up 3 cents. Take that for what it is, but gapping up 3 cents on Delta from the close. Again, below the 10 EMA. Probably would expect some kind of a retest, but you have resistance the whole way. So maybe looks like we have 2 different VPOCs. We got 1, 2. So if you're going to take something bullish, again, this should be a retest, even though it's very small. So wait for a red candle. Try to get as close as possible to 33.73. Stop would be about 33.50. Just this way, you're below that last both of those VPOCs, and then maybe get a little bit rally, trying to retrace into the 10 EMA in a bullish direction. But be quick, be nimble. It doesn't look like the safest play out there. Jay wants to look at Rivian as a stock, or are you in the market? Are you going to buy one? I told you I saw one on the road. It didn't do like, I thought the only benefit of the Rivian was that it could do like full 360 spins. And I was disappointed the car only went straight when I saw it. So I don't know. I feel like maybe I just didn't get the full effect. It just stayed in its lane and obeyed traffic laws. It's kind of sad. It was very sad. What is up, Hector? So this is technically a retest gap, but it does look a little bit different. So a little bit at least wider of a gap than the 3 cents on Delta that we just looked at. You have a little bit of support down here, somewhere around 26.37. What I would love to see is actually a little red candle, little selling pressure at open, and then I would be looking to buy either 26.37 or about $26 even. That would give me good risk reward, play that retrace. But if you're looking to short, I want to short at open, wait for that retest to come in, and then try to get as close as possible to 27.46 on the short side. But it does look a little bit on the weaker side of things. Was there news? 4 hours ago, Rivian Automotive drops agreement with Mercedes. Whoa. Rivian decided to drop Mercedes? Why? Why would they? Why wouldn't it be Mercedes dropping? That's kind of wild. Yeah. I would assume that Rivian was extremely thrilled to have some kind of a deal with anybody. And then you're like, nah, never mind. All right. DE, let's take a look at Deere and Company. Yeah, I thought this one should have been going down a lot longer ago, to be fair. This one's been absolutely resilient to the bullish side. I thought this little fade here looked great, and then it just skyrocketed. So again, probably a little bit on the overbought. I wish this gap was a little bit lower, to be honest. That'd be a nice island reversal. Let's take a look real quick on the weekly. Yeah, I really don't want to get in the way of the bulls, but on a weekly basis, it's essentially 1, 2, indecision, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row that's bullish, and probably something like this would be an interesting, very, very interesting fade. So if I was to make a play like this, if I wanted to either day trade or try to get some kind of a swing, I would probably want to find these stocks. If I'm going to try anything and just go, let's make a play. Like Tony said, it's tough right now to go, okay, let's go either bullish, bearish on anything before the report. But if you're like, yeah, no, maybe we come in a little bit hot on those numbers, maybe we sell off, then try to find some of the stronger companies out there that have a lot more meat on the bones, which I think this would be one of them, to take some puts out or shorts out or something like that. And then, I mean, if you give yourself some time on that, even if you're wrong, maybe you get some kind of a fade back or retest or something like that after every single person in this one's profitable. So if this one gaps up, you might have some selling come in, even if we have good numbers tomorrow. So maybe that would be a play. Otherwise, it looks a little bit shorter today. Slight little gap down and just massive move higher for what feels like ever. It just keeps going higher. So, but that might be an interesting one to say, okay, if it's gone up a lot. So if those numbers are bad, maybe we finally get some sell off. All right, we got MU, and I can't assume that Deere is going to do well in a recession too. All right, we got Deere. I mean MU's at a little bit of support still. Again, this Nvidia is looking a lot better than MU. Why do I get the impression Nvidia is just slow? It just hasn't made the move yet. Let's see. We got 53.62. So that is a decent little gap down. This one is technically a gap and go. My only worry about this one is that we have a little bit of support. So slight little report. Otherwise, that's probably one of the best looking gaps, I would say, of the day. There's not a lot else out there. Cat has a 10 EMA. Short. Set up short swing. Let's see, Cat CAT. Even with the Deere, I mean, doing anything prior to CPI is, I mean, it's not really trading, it's gambling. But if you're comfortable with the risk, I mean, finding some things, Caterpillar would be a contender too. And that's one heck of a move. Even coming down to 216, that's your high volume area, at least on a daily. But yep, there's your 10 EMA that Hector's talking about. So probably anything really getting in at 225.55. Just keep in mind though, this is a daily chart, which means we more than likely need more than one day for this to pay out. And we got 8:30 numbers. All right, we got what, 2 more minutes left. Let me check my peeps in YouTube lands. MDLZ. That could be one to watch. It's got a little resistance somewhere at 67.78. So we are a little bit on a sideways chop, but at least that one is definitely a gap and go, almost clearing the range of yesterday. And it's obviously had some strength in it. You are back above the 10 EMA, so that might be a decent one to watch. I would definitely be a little concerned about that resistance up there, but otherwise that one looked decent bullish. PG. Procter Gamble, good strength over the last month and a half. Nice little gap up, not a lot of resistance, but technically this would be a retest, and you are still below the VPOC from Friday. So if you're going to try to get this one long, I'd see if you get a little pullback. Maybe you could catch it at like 151 and then play out some momentum. But it's up a lot. And again, the same thing that we just looked at Cat and Deere. If I was in any of those and I'm profitable already, I would probably just I would ring the register, take my profits, get this gap up, like, great, got another gift. And I would not want to sit through CPI. But unfortunately, that bell, while it means good things that we could trade the market is open and we're up running live. Unfortunately, YouTubers, I got to drop this little stream. You guys are incredible. Make sure on the way out, you guys hit that thumbs up, the like, and if you have not subscribed already to reallifetrading.com, check it out. There is free online beginner, intermediate, advanced courses. Plus, when you do subscribe to the channel, you do get any of the latest content and videos that we put out regarding the market, strategies, or trading in general. Otherwise, you guys are incredible. Be safe. Keep in mind, 8:30 tomorrow, but we'll catch you tomorrow right after those numbers drop. Later, guys.